Welcome to my views and news. First news stories from Addis Ababa, Ethiopian capital, where a meeting between TPLF leaders and Antony Blinken, U.S. Secretary of State, is expected. What is going to come under discussions at the meeting? Antony Blinken has held some other top-level meetings. To details for you. Secondly, viewers, Ethiopia is suffering the consequences of the ongoing conflict in Laascaanood, Somaliland. Ethiopia shares border with Somaliland, and Ethiopia has been using newly constructed Berbera port of Somaliland. Now we have received details of decreased port operations because of the ongoing conflict in Laascaanood region. Thirdly, we have Gurage zone of Ethiopia, SNNPR, where arrests are being reported of activists, political workers. A newly formed party leaders were arrested yesterday. Details for you. Firstly, viewers, Antony Blinken, U.S. Secretary of State, arrived in Ethiopia a few hours ago. Ethiopian government gave the cold shoulder to Antony Blinken because at Addis Ababa's Bole airport, only state minister was sent to welcome Antony Blinken. Damake Mekonnen was in Ethiopia last night, yesterday, today, but he did not welcome Antony Blinken. PM Abiy obviously did not welcome his prime minister, but Damake avoided welcoming Antony Blinken. Though today a meeting was held then between Damake Mekonnen, foreign minister of Ethiopia and deputy prime minister as well, and Antony Blinken, U.S. Secretary of State, basically, who is a foreign minister. Meeting was held at Damake Mekonnen's office, and the two were seen having coffee at Damake Mekonnen's office. Like we saw Lavrov, Russian foreign minister, and Damake Mekonnen having coffee last year when Lavrov visited Ethiopia. Secondly, Antony Blinken has held a meeting with IGAD's Secretary General. Workne Gebeyehu is IGAD's Secretary General. IGAD is Intergovernmental Authority on Development, alliance of East Africa countries like Ethiopia, Eritrea, Kenya, Somalia, etc. And Eritrea is hoping to revive IGAD. Eritrea suspended its membership of IGAD after IGAD backed a regional intervention in Somalia years ago. But we've seen that recently, Isaias Afwerki was heard talking about IGAD. He visited Kenya last month. William Ruto invited him, and there he said that Eritrea was interested in rejoining IGAD. And Antony Blinken is holding meetings with IGAD officials, with African Union representatives too. Obviously, US would like IGAD not to be a forum for the furthering of anti-US agenda of Eritrean government. Eritrea is openly, publicly pro-Russia, pro-China. Obviously, it will try to decrease American influence in this region through IGAD. US is proactively engaged with IGAD. We saw that IGAD was given a role in the implementation of Pretoria deal. IGAD was part of talks leading to Pretoria deal. A key meeting is going to start in coming hours between TPLF leaders and Antony Blinken, US Secretary of State. Antony Blinken is not visiting Mekelle, Tigray, but TPLF leaders are arriving in Addis Ababa reportedly. Antony Blinken has not met with the Prime Minister so far, but he is due to meet PM Abiy too. The meeting between Antony Blinken and TPLF leaders is very crucial because key issues will come under discussion, like reinstatement of TPLF, removal of terrorist ban from the party. Secondly, UN-led inquiry into human rights abuses, which is being opposed by Ethiopian government. And the US is supportive of the continuation of the mandate of UN Inquiry Commission. And thirdly, issues regarding formation of interim government in Tigray. So key issues are going to be discussed between TPLF leaders and Antony Blinken. Will try to update you in coming videos. Secondly, viewers, Ethiopia is hit by the effect of the ongoing conflict in Sul region, Laascaanood. For around a month, we have seen off and on fighting in Laascaanood between SSC fighters and Somaliland's forces. A regional effort is being made to resolve the issue. Yesterday, I think, SSC elders were seen in Addis Ababa, Ethiopian capital. There some meetings were held between Ethiopian security officials and Gurage of Sul region of Laascaanood. What happened in coming, we will try to give you detailed information. Ethiopia is hosting the dialogue to resolve the issue in Laascaanood, Somalia. And though Somaliland's government last week accused Somali region of Ethiopia of sending Somali special force, Somali region's special force to fight in support of SSC fight against Somaliland military in Laascaanood. Somali region's government denied these allegations. Now, when Ethiopia is trying to host the dialogue to resolve the issue, one of the reasons behind this Ethiopian attempt is that Ethiopia is facing economic consequences of this conflict because Ethiopian traders were using Berbera port. They started the use of Berbera port, I think, a few months ago. Puntland traders, Ethiopian traders, they have been using this port for some time, for a few months, you can say. But after the start of armed conflict in Laascaanood, port operations are decreasing. It is being reported that before the start of conflict in Laascaanood, on daily basis, 680 containers were unloaded. Now this number has dropped to 80. You see, from 680 to 80. It means that both Ethiopian traders and Puntland's merchants, both are suffering. Ethiopia at one time was interested in becoming a party, an investor in Berbera port's construction, but it had to withdraw because of the conflict in northern Ethiopia. But still, Ethiopia is interested in widening its use of region's port. Ethiopia has been traditionally relying on Djibouti's ports, but it wants to use Eritrean, Kenyan, and Eritrean and these Somaliland ports too. But if this conflict goes on, it will have several challenges for Ethiopia. Economic repercussions, entry of refugees, security issues as well. Thirdly, was Gurage zone of the SNNPR regional state of Ethiopia, where arrests, detentions are being reported. Gurage is under military command post because last year we saw start of protests against the government in Gurage. People of Gurage and Wolaita, they have been struggling for separate regional states for years, but government is planning to create a new regional state in SNPR, not along ethnic lines. Gurage and Wolaita will become part of other Woredas and zones in new regional states. Referendum was held in some special Woredas and zones more than a month ago, but referendum results could not be finalized because there were issues, there were irregularities seen in Wolaita. Now, in Gurage, to suppress people's struggle for a regional state. Arrests are being made. Community activists, journalists, politicians, members of parliament, political workers, they're being arrested. And a newly formed political party, which was formed 3 months ago, is the target of these activities by security forces. Name of this new party is Gurage, Gurage Unity and Justice Party, which was given registration license by National Election Board of Ethiopia 3 months ago. The party obviously is struggling for a separate regional state of Gurage. 12 party leaders were arrested on Monday. 10 were released, 2 are still behind bars. Several other activists and MPs are in prison, like Manor Rashid, SNPR Regional Council member, Mrs. Taje Tadase, Gurage Zone City Council member, arrested, though a court ordered their release yesterday. And several others are in prison. Those who can mobilize people, those who are speaking for a separate Gurage regional state of Ethiopia, they are being arrested. And these arrests are not being covered by international media, by Ethiopian state media, obviously, by Ethiopian news outlets. Gurage and Wolaita are two zones which are less covered by international and Ethiopian media, but a lot is happening there. State action against those who want separate regional states is underway, and human rights violations are being committed in Gurage. We saw a few days ago that some protesters were shot dead by security forces who were protesting for water supply. Water supply was disconnected to a city of Gurage. No accountability. Thank you for watching.